And now let's turn our attention to Canada. It is burning. Its eastern city of Halifax has declared an emergency. It is suffering from wildfires. Homes are going up in flames. There are power outages and hundreds of people are being evacuated. The fire has sent a huge pall of smoke over the city, but this port city is not the only one facing the brunt of wildfires. Hundreds of other wildfires are burning in Canada. Why is this happening, and what measures is Canada taking? Our next report tells you.
That's fire.
What you just saw is a dashcam video. It shows a car being driven through Halifax. This is an eastern Canadian city, and a wildfire is ravaging the port city, burning out of control. These visuals are shocking, but they aren't the only ones. Look at this huge pall of smoke. This too is a result of the same wildfire, which sent up a huge cloud of smoke over the port city. This looks scary because it is. There are flames everywhere. Roads are affected. Houses are burning. There are power outages. All in all, the situation is hazardous. And Halifax has declared a state of local emergency, which will be in effect for at least a week. Meanwhile, evacuations are underway. But this horrific experience is not limited to this eastern Canadian city. It is being shared by Western Canadian province too, Alberta. Except here, the situation is much worse. Unprecedented wildfires are raging in Alberta, which too has declared an emergency. This province is home to 4 million people, tens of thousands of whom have been displaced. Their homes are burning. Millions of hectares of land has been charred by fire. About 2 weeks ago, this is what the authorities said.
Our peak burning period, which is when the temperatures are at their highest and the fuels are at their driest, is still in front of us.
They were right. The skies are still choking in smoke. There is no end in sight for these record-breaking fires. Question is, why is this happening? During the spring, the snow begins to melt. This exposes tree branches and dead leaves underneath. Experts call this fuel because they are flammable. And warm temperatures and dry conditions only increase the flammability, both of which Canada saw this year. It dived into summer with record-breaking temperatures and a terrible heat wave, especially in areas like Alberta and British Columbia, which saw both record-breaking heat and below-average rainfall, which was even 75 to 100% less than usual in some areas. This just made the entire situation worse. And this is alarming. Parts of Canada do see wildfires, but they don't usually come this early. What's more, they aren't usually this spread out. Authorities are working to control these wildfires, but this time it's challenging because big wildfires aren't concentrated to a specific part. There are a lot of big ones spread across different territories. About 100 wildfires burned just Alberta. And Canada is doing its bit to get things under control. But matters are only getting worse. Much of the fire season is still left. Experts say there is no end in sight. It seems like there will be months before the situation comes under control, which only feels like a trailer for what is to come. As our climate warms, we expect to see more fire, more power disruptions, more burning houses, more people displaced, and many more clouds of smoke. Unseasonal heat has become more frequent, probable, and intense, all because of human action. Our world is on fire. Question is, when will we wake up and smell the smoke?